Hello, everybody, and welcome to the, I think, fifth episode of
I don't know.
Elder Scrolls. I don't remember what number we're on. This is either five or six. Elder, Elder Zoomers Gaming Guild podcast. We only have one topic in mind today, and I think it's pretty obvious what it is. The acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft. And with that being said, all right, boys, give
Who
me
the
your
fuck
thoughts.
saw that coming? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Look at
that was...
Feel, dude.
I mean, Nico, your text, like...
Makes
I
no
was,
sense
like,
to me.
I was still waking up, and, like, I
Yeah.
saw your text, and I was like, oh my god, like, I went from, like, sleepy to, like, boop, I'm awake.
Mhm.
I was like, what? Oh my gosh, like, that was insane. $68.7 billion. That is insane. Absolutely insane.
Do you think they paid with cash or card?
We accept Apple Pay, PayPal.
Apple Pay? Oh my god.
Who fucking knows, man? These people
dude,
have more money than God, I swear to Christ.
Yeah, I mean, well,
It's insane. It's an insane transaction. That's like an oil company being bought.
yeah.
I can't even conceptualize $1 billion. How the fuck do these people have 69 billion to do that with?
Well, Microsoft actually has well over $1 trillion. I think they're at like 2 trillion that they
Good
can literally just
God.
spend. Yeah.
Since
So,
when?
for a while. I mean, they passed
Really?
$1 trillion a long time ago. I think their net worth is like well over $1 trillion at this point. So, yeah, I mean, it's insane.
I saw
go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go first.
I was just gonna say I saw, I've been watching like everyone's takes on this, and
Oh
fucking,
yeah, me too.
Fucking, I think it was Jake Baldino, like his like little side like opinion piece after the Game Ranks thing, or before it, I think.
Yeah.
He mentioned, like, he was just comparing shit. Fucking Nintendo is worth, like, all of Nintendo is worth less money than how much they paid for Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
Think about
Yeah.
that. The juggernaut that Nintendo is like
Mhm.
63 billion or something like that. It's fucking crazy.
It really
So-
puts into scale this, like, it shows the scope of this, honestly. That's a really good, that's a good thing to, like, use to illustrate the scope of this.
Compare
It's
it
a
to.
fucking huge transaction.
Yeah, Sony's worth 100 billion, in case anyone was wondering. So that's not
Yeah.
too far off. Microsoft really could buy either of them if they wanted to. Their pockets are that deep. They seriously could. I have a little chart here. I just wanted to read off a few things just for
Share
perspective.
your screen.
Well, I'm only gonna list a couple things.
All right.
So when AT&T bought Time Warner back in 2018, that was 85.4 billion.
Wow.
And when Disney bought 20th Century Fox in 2019, that was 71.3 billion. So that puts this Activision acquisition, ooh, that's hard to say. That puts it in third place, like in terms of like biggest acquisitions made by media companies. Like that's the third biggest transaction, which is insane. And to be fair, I mean, Microsoft isn't, they're no strangers to spending. I mean, they bought Mojang back in 2014. I think it was like 2.5 billion.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
they bought LinkedIn in 2016 for 25 billion, I think. And then they bought Bethesda, of course, just last, I guess it was 2020, a couple years ago now, for I think it was 7.5 billion. So I mean, yeah, it's they've been doing a lot of spending and they can afford it. They're huge. So my
Guys,
question,
they're putting World of Warcraft on fucking Game Pass.
yeah.
Xbox Game Pass.
I'll believe that when I see it. Well, I mean, it could go on the PC Game Pass, but they'd have to build the game for consoles.
Weird. I don't see how that would.
Yeah,
work.
I know, but that's actually what I wanted to throw at you guys. So to understand fully what exactly this acquisition includes, I wrote it down. So it includes Candy Crush, which people often overlook, but that game actually generated $2 billion just in 2020. So that is actually a big deal.
Just in 2020?
Yeah, just in 1 year, people spent $2 billion in Candy Crush. Imagine that.
That's weird to me that's for 2020 too. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think of like Candy Crush as being that in the realm of popularity, but like, damn,
Dude, fucking
that's
everyone's mom plays Candy Crush. That's how that
Yeah,
works. My mom
pretty
plays
much.
Candy Crush religiously.
Yeah, pretty much. So the Activision Blizzard acquisition includes Candy Crush, Diablo, the Tony Hawk games, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot.
Mhm.
That's crazy. Two of Sony's biggest mascots from like the PlayStation 1 era, Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, are now owned by Xbox. That's really crazy to think
That's
about.
insane.
hilarious. I love that.
It also includes Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, and there's a few smaller ones above that, but those are the main heavy hitters. What do you guys think Microsoft is going to do now that they own those licenses? Are you expecting, just going into Game Pass? Do you think some of those games are going to be exclusive? They're going to
I
make sequels to some of those games we haven't seen for a while, like Spyro. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm curious. What do you
All
guys
of the
think?
above, honestly.
I'm
All the above,
expecting a
all right.
big flex.
Yeah.
I'm expecting this to be a flexed thing. I think Microsoft is really going to like take the rights like the ownership and just be like, we're throwing out this, we're throwing out this, we're throwing out that, we're revitalizing this, we're doing that. I mean, because why not?
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
there's
Oh,
such a
fuck.
play that's had, right?
Oh yeah.
By them having acquired this,
Oh,
that I think for them to not capitalize on it as soon as possible with those names just wouldn't make sense to me.
Oh yeah, I could see
See,
that.
I feel like there's how do I word this? The mindset, culture, and ethics of Microsoft is kind of at odds with the obvious like business plan that you would expect. I don't see them with the way everything's going, with them, being all inclusive with PC and putting games everywhere they can. I don't see them hard making every title exclusive to Xbox now. Like probably most of them. Like that's just going to be obvious. But things like Call of Duty, I don't see them making it like only Xbox can play this
Mhm.
from now on.
Mhm.
Like it'll probably still be on everything. What I'm expecting is a role reversal, a flip to what we've been experiencing with the current deal between Sony and Activision, where now Xbox will be the one with timed exclusives. We'll be getting things early. We'll be getting
Mhm.
all this stuff, maybe like even exclusive modes like what was it? In Cold War, I want to say there was an entire game mode for like a zombie like rush mode that was only on PlayStation. We never got it and we never will get it because that was like the contract.
Mhm.
So that's always been a thing with Sony. That's
Yeah.
always been a Sony thing in particular. I feel like Xbox has always had like, we have Xbox exclusive games, and then we've got our like Xbox pre-order stuff that can come from you only get this if you pre-order from GameStop on the Xbox, whatever. But I feel like with Sony, it has always been like, oh yeah, you get this like special version of the game that only has this particular mode in it, or you get this special something or other that's in addition to the game. I agree with you. I feel like we're going to start to see more of that Sony type behavior from Microsoft.
Yeah.
Because they can do it now.
Yep.
They can. Yeah, Microsoft back when Don Matrix was heading Xbox before Phil Spencer, he did do some of those timed exclusive things. Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, the second game in the most recent trilogy, that was originally exclusive to Xbox One and Xbox 360, and then several years later it got a PlayStation 4 port. I think it was several years, may have only been like 2 or 3, but so Xbox did do a little bit of that, but you're absolutely right. It was definitely more of a Sony thing. And during the Xbox 360, Call of Duty actually had a partnership with Microsoft and Xbox, and they got the content. Then when the PlayStation 4 came out, they were Activision kind of switched over and started giving them the exclusive content. So now I'm guessing we're going to be seeing that on Xbox again, or maybe it'll just come to both, and Microsoft could just say, "Hey, Call of Duty's in Game Pass, so you don't have to pay $60 for it," and that alone
That'd
might
be
be
a big selling
enough
point.
to bring people over. I personally think this is just I haven't heard anything about this. This is just my speculation. I think if Microsoft did decide to make Call of Duty a console exclusive, I think they're gonna leave Warzone on all the platforms because that game generates so much money in cosmetics, and because Warzone is now separate from Call of Duty technically. I think, you know, if you want to play the new zombies, the new campaign, whatever, that might be exclusive to Xbox, but then the Warzone you'll be able to continue to play on PlayStation. I could see them doing that.
I would say, I think going off of that, I think anything that's currently being updated, stuff that's being played right now on all these consoles, they're not going to like change that.
Yeah, at least not
like
for a
Warzone,
while.
that's it's already on everything. It's already cross-plat. Why would I don't even know how they would like just shut down other servers. I don't know.
Yeah, and that would make them look like the bad guy too.
Going forward, I can see them like the next Call of Duty that comes out might be exclusive or have timed exclusive or whatever, but I don't think anything that's currently out is going to change at all, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I think at least because so this acquisition won't have fully taken place supposedly until
like
July of 2023. So we still have like a year and a half left before this fully takes effect.
Oh my god, it's 2022. Fuck.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and just cover this now because I know it's probably gonna come up at some point. Supposedly, this isn't confirmed, but it's rumored that once the acquisition takes effect, that's also the end of Microsoft's physical quarter. It's rumored that Bobby Kotick is gonna leave Activision when the deal goes through. Which, yeah, I think we all kind of saw that coming. Yeah. Microsoft is very big about saving a sinking ship. And a lot of people don't know Bethesda was in a lot of financial trouble. They weren't doing well, and that's, I think, part of the motivation why Microsoft scooped them up when they did. And we're seeing it with Activision Blizzard too. They're under fire, stocks plummeted, the company was in trouble, and then Microsoft came in.
Play,
hey, let's
honestly.
get it.
Wait until there's controversy to lower the price and snag it while you can.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because you already know that the studio, no matter kind of like what the stock has dropped to, or no matter what the controversy is, you cannot deny that like Activision Blizzard was and would probably continue to be a heavy hitter. I think that regardless of the controversy, Activision Blizzard was big enough that like they were going to put out some heavy hits, and so I see it as very smart. I'm in complete agreement with you, Nico. I think that it's like wait for the stock to drop and then know that like, yeah, we're not angel investing some like unknown gaming company, right?
Which they are the ready. So
yes, true. But it's like, you know, oh yeah, no, we're like back. We're taking under our wing this wounded, you know, big animal, making it our own. And it's very smart.
You're saying that such a cute way when in reality this is a festering sewer monster that they're trying to clean up.
Yeah, well, wounded big animal. Festering wounded big animal.
Dude, if they don't just clean fucking house, I'm gonna be really upset. This is their opportunity to do it.
Hashtag clean the sewer monster.
Yeah, I think
Fire
they will.
everybody
they're at least
involved
gonna do
with this
something because Phil Spencer has spoken out, especially on Twitter, numerous times about like, hey, like this is wrong. Something needs to be done about this. And now they're gonna report to him as CEO
directly. Directly to him.
Directly.
So I didn't realize this, but I completely forgot that back when all this was coming to light, Spencer specifically addressed this and was like, hey, we got to reevaluate our relationship with Activision Blizzard. And I assumed at the time, with the given context, maybe they'd, I don't know, probably not go as far as like pulling the games from the store like Sony did with Cyberpunk, but something like that, some kind of like big what's I'm thinking of the word
House cleaning?
but
Like
not
a
country.
move. Like they're gonna make
Like,
a move to.
Yeah, they're gonna
to
make a
support
move. They're
that.
gonna like punish the company somehow. I didn't think they'd fucking buy them.
They're like, we're gonna clean
Yeah.
house by owning you.
Yes.
We're gonna own yes. We're
Well,
gonna cut
see-
your checks, boy.
You guys fucked up so bad that we are going to fix this ourselves. We're going to buy you and
Yeah.
fire people. I don't
Oh,
know.
little
I would like
little
them to.
babies don't know what to do. Don't worry,
Mhm.
Papa's here. Papa's here. He's gonna come through. He's gonna clean house. Okay, he's gonna make sure everything's running
Mhm.
smoothly.
Oh yeah, no. I'm very interested to see, with all the people that have been involved with all the harassment. I'm curious to see where they're going to be in the company when July 2023, aka Judgment Day, comes.
I
for
feel like
all of
I
them.
feel like they should have a Microsoft should host like a Activision Blizzard Nuremberg trials
Jesus.
where they
Oh my
they
gosh.
like broadcast on Twitch all like a hearing of all of the all the people who were like involved in the controversy, like getting
Oh my
arrested
God.
and shit.
That
I
would
can
be
see
funny.
this.
All right.
Like Twitch chat just going wild with just fucking vitriol and just like calling for their deaths and shit.
Hashtag the Microsoft trials begin.
Jokes. They're
Oh.
jokes. For legal reasons, these are jokes.
Yes,
These are jokes.
yes.
Yeah.
Purely jokes. All
We're
jokes,
just a
all
couple.
jokes.
We're a couple little silly guys, couple
Yeah.
jokesters. It's the funny little fellas.
I'm speculating on how toxic Twitch chat will be. I am not
Twitch
endorsing
trap.
these statements.
Yes, merely predictions,
Mhm.
because Twitch can be pretty crazy.
Could go any way.
Yeah.
Cesspool.
So
Did you see the
going
news
back-
with Pokemon recently? Actually, never mind. This is off topic.
Oh no, it's okay. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, no. Twitch has gone another controversy to add to the list. Pokemon got hate rated and harassed by another creator, and they fucking perma-banned him.
Oh,
So-
nice. Well, at least they did
That was
something.
fine.
about
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, better than nothing.
There's a lot more to that story. I'm just fucking
Oh yeah.
like paraphrasing the spark notes of this shit, but you know.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. I did want to circle
Thanks,
back.
Pokemang.
Yeah. I did want to circle back over to the games
Mhm.
that are included here with Activision, because some people are saying Microsoft is going to make all these games like Xbox and PC exclusive, and PlayStation, they're
I
not
don't see
getting
that.
any of it. And other people are saying, no, they're probably not going to do that for everything. They're going to keep, a lot of them, a lot of these licenses still multi-platform. And what's interesting about that conversation is that Microsoft has a history of doing both. So we don't
Yeah.
really know exactly where it's going to go.
Doesn't
Minecraft.
Starfield become Xbox exclusive now?
Yes, it is. So I'm actually gonna get right to that.
Mhm.
But first, starting with Minecraft. So when Microsoft bought Minecraft back in 2014, or
Mhm.
Mojang, I guess I should say, they actually kept Minecraft running on every console and platform that it existed on, which makes sense. And people thought, oh, okay, so they're gonna do that, but then they're gonna create a new thing and they're gonna make that exclusive. Well, Microsoft did make a Telltale Minecraft game, as well as Minecraft Dungeons, and both of those games were also multi-platform, despite being made entirely by Microsoft. So they kept the property itself completely multi-platform. On the flip side, as you were saying, Nico, with the Bethesda acquisition, people were like, there's no way Elder Scrolls isn't going to be on PlayStation. There's no way Fallout's not going to be on PlayStation. And Phil Spencer came out and said, no, all those games we just got, yeah, they're gonna be Xbox and PC exclusive. And just a couple days later, Starfield was announced by the devs to only be Xbox and PC. So those people were like, oh, and I'll admit I was kind of one of those people too. I was like, that'd be pretty quick to make those exclusive, but Microsoft said no, we're doing it. We're putting our foot down with that. So it's going to be interesting with some of these new games that they've now acquired. What they'll do with them going forward, especially with Spyro and Crash Bandicoot having a such a big history. They were basically created by PlayStation.
Spyro is that is PlayStation like through and through for me. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if you grew up playing the PlayStation like 2, that was like almost the flag. That was like fucking the
That was their
PlayStation
Halo.
2's version of Halo. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
branded
Well,
with the console.
yeah,
So
interesting. I actually found out recently, once the original Xbox released back in 2001, the Spyro games did actually start becoming multi-platform, and some of them did actually release on Xbox. But I played the original Spyro on the original PlayStation, and I always just, just said, "Oh, Spyro, PlayStation." Same thing with I played, the original Crash Bandicoot games. I associated Crash Bandicoot with PlayStation. And some of the recent games like Crash Bandicoot 4 and then the racing one they made, those did have recently did release on Nintendo Switch and Xbox. So it's gone multi-platform since those early days, but it's interesting if those properties are gonna stay that way, or if Xbox is gonna say, nope, they're ours now. You don't get them anymore.
question: what games do you think they would do that they would like isolate and make like Xbox exclusives, and why? What do you think stands out where you're like, I could totally see them making this an Xbox exclusive, and here's why?
I think personally, I honestly think either Crash Bandicoot or Spyro could be Xbox exclusives, and the reason why is because they don't have a whole lot of like kid-friendly IPs that they own. They did make Super Lucky's Tale a handful of years ago, and that game was very kind of Mario-esque, like, a lot of platforming, collecting little coins and such things like that. It was very kid-friendly, but otherwise, besides Ori and a few other things, Microsoft doesn't really have a lot of games, in that space. Whereas Nintendo, that's pretty much all they make. Almost everything they make are for kids. So Microsoft could take advantage of that and say, hey, Spyro and Crash now on Xbox, and especially with, Microsoft hasn't made any like Crash Bandicoot games or anything like that in a really long time. So there's kind of an empty space with those kind of kid-friendly games that Microsoft could take advantage of with that. With that
I can
being
totally
said,
see that.
I also think Diablo could potentially be Xbox exclusive, because those games have existed on Xbox for a long time now, and they may finally say, "Hey, Xbox and PC only." That would definitely, especially if all these are day one in Game Pass, that'll definitely bring up a lot of sales, I think.
I feel like
Diablo in particular would rock the boat.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like the only things that won't be exclusive are going to be like the massive juggernauts that are already multi-platform, like Call of Duty. Yeah. I can't see Call of Duty being exclusive. I just can't. Not a full one anyway. Other than that, probably all of them.
Yeah,
I could see World of Warcraft staying like where it's at, but I could see them coming out with games like you had mentioned with the Minecraft. They came out with those additional games. I could totally see them taking that IP and like making branching stories and alternative games and maybe like mini series or something. Oh, then there you go.
Warcraft was the original game series. The World of Warcraft was the MMO in that universe. And they also not recently, but a couple of years ago, they released WoW Classic, which is literally they just turned on servers of the original OG out of the box, no expansions, World of Warcraft, and that was pretty popular. They actually re-released Burning Crusade, which is the first expansion for WoW Classic, and basically it's just like they're just repeating history at this point. And there's a lot of controversy and shit because the monetization is weird, and like they put store mounts, like new store mounts in the WoW Classic, which just pissed everybody off. They put like level cap. You could buy a character to be level cap. There's just all this dumb shit.
I heard about that. It's so stupid.
No, it's such a mess. And that's not even talking about like retail WoW, which is like the main game. they haven't put out a good expansion in years. Like
Yeah.
it's if you look at the fucking like the player retention, it was like, you know, one of the biggest games ever. Burning Crusade made it bigger. Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, I mean it's almost as good. Then Mists of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor. Actually, I think Warlords of Draenor spiked a little bit, and then it went back down with Legion, and then it just continued
It's just on a
decline.
downhill slope.
And it just keeps getting lower and lower every year. They actually, you know what's funny?
Mhm.
Blizzard stopped publishing their player numbers. They refuse to release them now
Oh, of course.
because
Yeah.
it looks
they're
so
embarrassed.
exactly.
Yeah, why
Um,
would they? I mean, Microsoft did the same thing with Xbox consoles. After
Mhm.
the Xbox One was falling so far behind the PlayStation 4, they quit announcing how many consoles they were selling, and it was just up to people guessing.
Yep.
In terms of retail numbers and things like that. Companies
So-
will do that if they don't look good.
Considering how shit World of Warcraft has been recently, I could see them maybe not shutting it down, but you know, moving on, like World of Warcraft 2 or something. You know, like
Well, see,
it
that's
sounds
what I'm
fucking
saying.
stupid, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like I don't see them making like new expansions, being like, okay, we're Microsoft, we're gonna take this over and like alter the trajectory. I see them doing something like what happened with God of War, or like like what you're saying,
Like a
it's
soft
just,
reboot.
just
Yeah.
like a soft reboot, or making a game that's like a gritty, fucking down in the trenches World of Warcraft or something, or taking it and starting from scratch on the next shit, like
Imagine,
making World of
like,
Warcraft
Gears of
2, like
War
you said.
style, like
Yeah.
a Gears of War, like World of Warcraft type game, like same
be
gameplay,
crazy.
but like in that universe. Like I think that could be kind of cool. Or just they may just do like a spin-off game, in that
Where
series.
the fuck did
see
these
how
pandas come from?
You know what's funny?
see how it goes. I mean, that's basically what Microsoft did with Minecraft. They took that IP and they made more games out of it. And I
what's
could
funny?
see them definitely doing that. We could get a Call of Duty game that's like an RTS or something.
Oh, that'd be
crazy.
weird.
It would be weird.
Would be weird.
But I mean, you never know. They're gonna try. They're gonna see
Now they've got
You know
the
what?
ability to flex.
You know what?
For sure.
I'm gonna say this. Fucking Microsoft is phenomenal with devs. Like better than
really
anyone else. They are the most hands-off, let me just give you money and you guys have fun company ever. They're like everything I've heard from like Bethesda since they were bought out. They literally just like have
Business as
infinite
usual.
money to work with now. It's just
Yeah.
they do whatever the fuck they want.
Same thing,
which is
just
awesome.
better money.
Mhm.
Exactly. So what I'm really excited for is having all of these studios that Activision has. I'm gonna say it. They've been mismanaging.
Yeah.
This is gonna be great. Like they're not gonna force 4 studios into working on Call of Duty anymore. Probably anyway. You're allowed to have more creative freedom. Make a new game, a new IP that you want to try out. You've got all these different devs that just haven't had a chance to explore anymore. And Activision has been a huge factor in why at least the monetization side of World of Warcraft has been going to shit.
Mhm.
So like without that overbearing micromanaging bullshit,
And
who knows?
with that
Maybe stuff
financial
could get better.
stimulus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I say
those
trust.
are
I mean, we talked about this last podcast. I trust devs 100% all the way through, right?
Mhm.
The developers are never the issue.
It's the public.
Let them. It's always the publishers. It's always the management. It's always the leadership. Let them do what the fuck they want. Let them have fun. Let them get creative, and you're gonna have phenomenal games. So
and you know what? Xbox has always been like a place for indie developers. I feel like what we're gonna get is in these like developer studios. I think what we're gonna start to see is like stronger indie developer encouragement, right? Like them taking that attitude of, okay, we have the creative freedom to make our game, but with the financial backing, like you're saying. Like I'm so excited to see what some of these developing studios like are able to do when they're actually able to be like creative and like bring their vision to light now. it's probably a breath of fresh air for everybody involved, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Question: do you guys think Call of Duty is going to remain an annual series?
Ooh,
Because I mean, we've gotten
that's
a
a
new Call of
good
Duty every
question.
year since Call of Duty 2, I think.
I will
like,
say this.
for almost
I
20 years.
think the 2-year break for Assassin's Creed was the best business decision and game decision they ever made.
Mhm.
Because we were burned the fuck out on Assassin's Creed to the point where I'm a long time fan of the franchise. I've played the first Assassin's Creed when that shit came out. Then 100%ed 2 was the first. Assassin's Creed 2 was the very first game I ever 100%ed. And that started a whole fucking thing with me.
Yeah.
Hey, who
I've-
you are, boy.
Since I've just loved every game since, even Assassin's Creed 3, even fucking
Even Rogue.
I'd actually never played Rogue. It's like the
Yeah.
only
What?
Rogue and
Okay.
Unity are the only two I've never played. I fucking love Syndicate, and this was the thing was
That's saying something.
yeah, I love Syndicate.
I
It was
actually
so
like
much
Syndicate
fun
too. to be
because
fair.
here's the thing: I stopped playing Assassin's Creed for a year because of Unity. When I got back to it, I was like, I miss this. I have so much nostalgia. I love these games so much. Let me try out Syndicate, and it was fucking awesome.
Mhm.
I did love the story.
Break, you need that break because you get fatigue with the same shit all the time.
Yes.
Take a fucking break, Call of Duty. Especially with
And-
this last release. No one cares about Vanguard. I'm sorry.
No
Yeah.
one does. Yeah, that was.
But the
a
next game
botch.
is Modern
And
Warfare 2. And it's been in
True.
development for a while now, so it's probably already almost done. They're
Mhm.
probably
But
going
here's
to
the
release
thing,
it
I
this
think-
year.
I think
I would
going
guess.
forward with future titles, I think like what they should do is implement this, like they should implement this idea that Nico's talking about, which is like we don't want to fatigue our fans.
Mhm.
And we also can get a little bit of breathing room to come up with a really good idea
Mhm.
and to not be
Yeah.
pressured to just put out any idea.
Yeah.
Right. Because like Vanguard, honestly, it seems like someone just fucking grabbed like, okay, what's out now? It's fucking, there's Battlefield 1 and we already made a World War II game. Let's just blend the two and fucking throw it out because we got to put out something.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it would give them a little bit more freedom, and it would also give the fans that desire. I mean, because Call of Duty fans are voracious. Most Call of Duty fans, even for Vanguard, were like, yeah, I bought that shit the second it came out. I wanted to play it, even if they knew that it didn't look super hot. And so
Yeah.
I think like what you will get is a lot of excitement from a fan base that is used to getting stuff year after year after year after year. It'd be a perfect opportunity to raise that hype,
Mhm.
to like, especially for something like Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
I can see them not doing it for Modern Warfare 2, but for the next game following,
Actually,
they should
no.
consider this.
I was just gonna say, same exact mindset. Model for 2, you're right, Garrett. It's probably almost done. Probably maybe even done by now. Make that the game that lasts. Keep updating it. Keep it going. Keep people satisfied for a while. Give you that breathing room, that time to just let it,
Mhm.
skip a year. Let it just breathe.
Yeah.
Then come out with something new later on, a better idea, like Peyton's saying. Give us that little break. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
I
don't
mean
need
that's a
fucking
good idea
yearly
for them to
release.
do.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. The thing is, though, if Microsoft is as hands off with Activision as they've been with these other devs,
Hmm.
Activision can just say, "Hey, we're going to keep cranking these out every year," and
Well,
it hasn't been a problem for them. Call of Duty Vanguard was still the top-selling game of
Yeah.
2021. Call of Duty is always the top-selling game every year. It is
Mhm.
what it is. They're just it's huge. That brand is just so huge at this point. And Warzone
it'd be
just
like-
skyrocketed it even more.
People
Like-
don't question the popularity of Call of Duty in the same way that people don't question the popularity of like baseball. Like
Yeah.
there's always gonna be baseball games. There's always gonna
football
be
games,
a
the Super
fucking
Bowl.
world. Yeah, football.
Yeah,
There's
it's never
always
gonna
gonna
go
be
away.
and there will always be turnout. Even when there's
Mhm.
like trash players, it's
Mhm.
always gonna be expensive to go and get tickets for the Super Bowl. And
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing with Call of Duty. It's like they could put out fucking Call of Duty Infinite, right? They put out Call of Duty, or what was that? What it was called? Call of Duty
Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like Call of Duty in space, still gonna sell a fuck ton
Most
because it's
disliked
Call of
video on
Duty.
YouTube still sold an absolute ton.
Yeah.
People didn't care.
You know, Garrett, and both of you actually. That's a good point. I didn't think about the business side of that. Like, obviously, money talks more than. I mean, you know, Microsoft can say that they care about us, and they probably do more than most, but money is still king.
At the end of the day,
and if it's not broke, I mean, you know, a lot of people thought Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was going to release really buggy and broken because that was when the pandemic first started.
Yeah.
And the game didn't get delayed at all. And so they were like, oh my gosh, like what's going to happen with this game? Is it going to be okay? Was totally fine. No issues whatsoever. So Activision has proven they can release a Call of Duty every year. And while to me personally, it has gotten stale, and I would totally not mind them taking a break because it's a formula for them that isn't broke. Why fix it? And it generates so much money. Honestly, they could just keep it going. They very well might. I could see them going either way, to be honest. I really could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think it's like there is a element of predictability because they are a big studio who has made big transactions and who is going to be overseeing the devs rather than being the devs themselves. So there is that predictability of like, you know, Nico, you said it. I thought you said it very accurately, which is like they probably care more than most, and they're probably involved more than most. But at the end of the day, they're still a corporation. They still have they still have a hefty bottom line to maintain, and they still have certain goals that are going to supersede, you know, like what would be not fan service, but like, you know what I mean?
Keep people
consumer
happy.
Advocacy. I don't know.
Consumer. That's a good. Yeah, I like that phrase. Consumer advocacy. It's a priority for them, but I doubt it's at the top of their priority board. They have stockholders that they have to like take care of. They've got money that is like hefty money that's attached to their turnout. So I think at a certain point they won't be like, no, like this game's trash. It's Call of Duty game's trash. You need to delay it. They'd be like, nah, it's Call of Duty game's trash, but like it's still gonna sell a fuck ton. So just like release it.
So it's assumed that Call of Duty could very well stay the same, and for business sakes and for the sake of making a lot of money, probably will stay the same, at least for now. You know, they could take a break, you know, a few years on, but these games are, you know, the next 2 Call of Duty games are already in development, probably have been for a while. That's how they keep it going. So, you know, we'll see how Call of Duty ends up. I do hope it gets a little bit of a break here at some point. I can't see them making a game every year forever, but who knows? What do you guys think? So Microsoft is now really in the mobile space now with Candy Crush.
Yeah.
And you know, you can play the Xbox Cloud Gaming, I think is what it's called. You can play that on your phone. So they do have that going for them, but now they actually they own an app that's very popular amongst people that you can play on your phones. Do you guys think now's the time for Microsoft to really step into the mobile market even more?
I say go full swing. Xbox Mobile Game Pass.
They do. Their fucking slogan is "Play anywhere." Games on everything. That's
and
so
you know what?
Exactly.
You know what goes with you everywhere? Fucking your phone. I'm using it right now for this podcast. I mean, it's like I could, you know, I think that's a really good point, Garrett. I could see them like definitely coming into the mobile space with this. This would be the perfect time. That would be such a like great entrance for them, is to like jump into the mobile space now that Candy Crush is under their belt. Like, holy shit.
They've tried in the past, and it didn't go quite so well. If anyone remembers Halo Spartan Assault, sold okay. They ended up putting it on console and PC later, and it was, you know, it was all right. It was an okay game, but it didn't sell very well. And I think for Microsoft, they're gonna have to take a big property and potentially even do a free-to-play one and put it on mobile devices. Activision did it with Call of Duty Mobile. Oh, that's
Mhm.
another game that they own now. Technically, is Call of Duty
Oh
Mobile.
shit!
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot about that.
That's
Yeah.
dude, that's real.
I feel like I haven't heard anyone talk about that yet. Yeah, they have Call of
I
Duty
didn't think
Mobile,
about that.
which is already really big. What if they take even more of their games and do a put them on smartphones
They
as a
could do an
separate
Elder
app?
Scrolls mobile game if they
Well,
wanted
yeah,
to now.
which
I thought they did already.
They did. They
Did
did.
they?
Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't under Microsoft, but they did the Elder Scrolls Blades. I think it was what it was
Yeah.
called.
Yeah, I
Never
remember
heard of
that.
it.
Yeah, it's literally like a Skyrim game you play on your phone. Like
Mhm.
that's
And
it's.
fuck, I thought that was an
Did that
original
ever
good idea.
come out? I remember hearing about it. Never remember hearing it released.
I actually played it a little bit. It
Okay.
did fully come out. I've played a little bit of it. It's all right. It's definitely a mobile version of Skyrim.
Right.
Graphics are actually really good. It's just the gameplay is a little limited. Like you select which areas you move to and things like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could do like a Halo mobile, take Halo Infinite's multiplayer, kind of trim it down and throw it on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they can do with this. With existing properties they already have, Gears of War.
And honestly, it's
Gosh.
very doable. Like I'm actually
Yeah.
shocked how many devs have mobile fucking Fortnite is cross-plat with mobile.
Yeah.
Warframe, they're making a mobile version. They just announced that they've got a playable version of it. It's not like released yet, but they showed it
Yeah.
off. They've got Minecraft has been on mobile for
A
forever.
really long time.
Yeah.
Like
Before
you can
Microsoft even owned it.
you can put a surprising amount on phones now. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
It's an easier step. It's not so much a leap anymore. It used to
Mhm.
be a leap. I mean, I remember like when Call of Duty Zombies got put on the mobile.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like it was just the skin of like Call of Duty Zombies with like different controls, and it didn't play
Yeah.
the same.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I mean, you can basically get the same game on your Xbox, but just on your phone. And it's
Yeah.
there's like not to such a degree that they even have I was just at Best Buy, and you can buy a device that's like a controller with a phone mount to play phone games using a controller.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mobile
And it's
gaming is
like-
gotten huge. It's actually the
Mobile
fastest
gaming-
growing market. A lot of people don't know that. Mobile gaming has blown up more than console gaming and PC
It's
gaming.
actually it makes sense that we don't really hear about it much here because it's mostly in Asia where it's like a massive thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Way bigger than
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
But I mean, like what you have is the space. You've got that opportunity. It is growing. I think even in the States and with the West,
Yeah.
it's definitely growing. And so I think like just this is the perfect opportunity for them to
Mhm.
really go full force, to knock our socks off potentially with like some sick mobile games. I mean, they've got firepower now for sure. They already
Yeah.
had firepower, but now they've really got some firepower. Shit, they could make World of Warcraft mobile. They could
Y'all want to
do
get
some
political?
kind
What was that, Nico?
I said y'all want to get political?
of Garrett, I'll leave that up to you, the moderator, if you want to get political.
Because I just thought of something crazy.
How
Little
political? Is this
politicking?
gonna get me in trouble? Are we gonna get canceled?
I think we've already talked about China.
Oh.
China?
All right. Yeah. Go for it.
So remember how Activision Blizzard has been China's bitch for the last few years?
Yes.
What do you think is going to be the response now?
Oh.
Do you think there's going to be any hit squads out?
Yeah.
I don't know.
mean,
I don't see Microsoft. I don't see
Microsoft and China
Microsoft
will have to
like
evaluate their relationship pretty much.
Yeah.
Reevaluate it and see if
'Cause-
we want to continue with this or not. Yeah.
China's easily one of, if not the biggest markets for gaming in the world.
And mobile
And
gaming.
that's why, exactly, especially mobile gaming. So it's like, Activision Blizzard clearly does not give a shit about people. They want money. So that's why they're always cowering to China. And I can think of like 4 examples off the top of my head. But Microsoft is like the 3rd biggest gaming publisher in the world behind who was it? Tencent and I think it was Sony actually. So it's like you can kind of do what you want. I don't know if they'll keep,
Yeah.
I
mean, they're going to look and see what's beneficial, and they may keep some things the same, change some others. It'll be interesting. Because China is such a big market for them, they may just
A lot
leave
of
that alone
censorship.
too. If it's not broke, why fix it? It's more money for them. They got to make back that
True.
$69 billion.
Don't they
And
already make like fucking, is it like 2 or 3 billion a year just off Game Pass alone?
probably. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I had seen
They just released the
something.
numbers. I think it was like
Oh, yeah.
25 million people are currently subscribed to Game Pass as
Yeah.
is before the merger, before the buyout, I mean.
Mhm.
And I did the math. It's like $15 a month, right?
Yeah, for Ultimate. Regular Game
Yeah.
Pass is $10 a month. So.
Okay. I assumed Ultimate, but maybe my math is off. Assuming Ultimate, 25 million current subscribers, it's like 2 billion a year or something like that.
Wow.
Off that
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah,
Not including Xbox sales, not including games.
Yeah, but they have to, for games that they don't own, they have to pay the devs to put it on Game Pass. So that, that takes up a lot of their money.
Who are they paying now? Just like Ubisoft or whatever? Like they own everybody and they've got to deal with EA.
Yeah, I mean they do own a lot, but there's still some like they do pay Ubisoft for Rainbow Six Extraction is the new one. That one is coming to Game Pass, I think, day one. And that is a Ubisoft game, so they'll be paying for that. They paid for games like Outriders to come in day one. MLB The Show, which is a PlayStation exclusive game, launched on Game Pass day one in 2021, which was insane. Like that was like what? So they definitely had to pay big money for that. That's the thing, and it's the same formula with Netflix too. Like you pay a lot of money to earn subscribers to try to recompensate that money. Basically is how it goes. It's just a game. Like Netflix spent billions of dollars on content, like making movies, exclusive shows, things last year, and that's about how much money they made from subscribers. So it's like it kind of balances out. It's hard to be profitable in that space. You really have to have a monopoly, and that's what Microsoft is doing. They're trying to make it so that they don't have to pay all these devs to put their games in Game Pass. They're building up Game Pass as much as they can.
They're trying to be the Disney of the gaming world. Yeah, if they weren't already, they're close.
And that's what they're working towards. But I'm glad they're not interfering with the development itself a lot. That makes me less scared. If a lot of things were changing about these games, the monopoly would worry me. But with the devs being able to mostly be left alone and just continue as they were, it softens it. It doesn't make it
really does.
It makes it less of a fearful thing.
It's inherently scary anytime a company buys up a bunch of shit. It's inherently scary because a lot of control is only in one entity. But I think that they've shown thus far. I don't think they've like given any hints that this is going to be a bad thing. I see this being a very good thing. I don't think
so.
Honestly,
so like, my stress is eased.
I am very much of the same mindset. Like fucking monopolies scare me just in general in life. Fucking I was not happy when Disney bought out the MCU. I was really pissed when they bought off Star Wars. So like, I'm not thrilled that Microsoft now owns ZeniMax, who owns Bethesda and all that other shit. And now Activision Blizzard, which owns fucking half of the gaming industry. But like, if anyone was gonna do it, I'm kind of glad it was Microsoft.
Yeah,
because like they're basically the publishing sugar daddy at this point. They just give money and let shit happen.
It's kind of, that's actually a good analogy because there is an inherent sketchiness with the sugar daddy.
Yep,
you're always kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, and then it never does. Right? It's just like. Well, it can, and I'm not. I shouldn't say never, but like you have a good sugar daddy situation, and it's like this guy's paying a lot of money just for me to like talk to him and like maybe send him some underwear every once in a while. I wonder when I'm gonna get that text that's gonna be like, so when are you coming over? And then it hasn't come yet, and it's like, okay, things are safe, but there's that risk of like it going bad. Which I think is going to keep. I think if we're going to take that and apply it to the Microsoft Activision relationship, I think that's going to keep consumers on their toes. because you're kind of always going to be wondering, okay, when is the other shoe going to drop? When are they going to get that nasty mentality?
Yeah.
But I don't see anything so far that would
Yeah, it hasn't
indicate that
happened yet.
pattern's going to come about.
They
It's
bought a
looking
bunch
good
of
with
it has-
Bethesda
studios.
so far. Like,
Yeah,
If
they
it hasn't
bought
happened
like
yet,
they bought like Ninja Theory and Turn 10 and all those studios like 3 or 4 years ago, and Forza is still awesome. They bought Obsidian, and then Outer Worlds came out, and that game was really cool. So I mean, they've proven so far that buying these developers hasn't affected their projects, and hopefully it continues to be that way.
and that's the thing, man. Earning trust is hard, and they're doing pretty well. They're
And I
just
think-
building it up little by little. So
I think we'd be having a very different reaction to this news if they hadn't already had bought in Bethesda, Ninja Theory, all these like developers. I think that they have. There's enough proof in history for me to be like, okay, the pattern here is not that they're going to like do something potentially sketchy.
Yeah.
I think they've already said it'd be really anomalous for them to be like, all right, now all of a sudden,
I've got an example. I was just fucking thinking like this is very similar to my mindset when Sekiro was coming out, because that was FromSoft, my favorite developers in the world, who I trust entirely. I will pre-order anything they make because I genuinely trust them. I don't pre-order shit. When they're working with Activision, I was horrified and just like you were saying, waiting for that other shoe to drop. I was certain they were going to like ruin it with microtransactions. They were going to fucking, force them to go in a way that they didn't want to go. The fact that they didn't blew my fucking mind. With this Microsoft buyout, it feels like the opposite. Like I just, I trust them already, and it's like, well, something bad might happen. I'd be shocked if it did. Versus, with fucking Activision,
expecting the worst.
Like,
yeah,
I was expecting the worst, and I was shocked that it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, and I can, they're a corporation. I can see them making some mistakes, but there's a difference between making a mistake and just outright being nonchalant about like, nice keyboard. There's a difference between making a mistake and just being outright like, yeah, we don't really give a fuck, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. And I think if Microsoft makes a bad call with something like microtransactions in a game or the direction of a game studio or something like that, I think they're dialed in enough, and I think that consumer like advocacy priority is higher on their list than most places, and so it'll ring a high bell. It'll strike a very high chord in that company if something gets negatively received. I feel like they'd be either more likely to change it or more or less likely to make the same mistake in the future compared to some other big studios. And so,
I mean, look at 343 and Infinite right now.
Yeah.
They're listening to the community. They're making some good changes. Fucking the prices in the stores dropped by half. That's good.
That is good. Yeah.
And I didn't see that coming. Honestly, I thought that was not.
Yeah,
gonna happen.
people were still buying them,
something like that happen.
even at the more expensive price. So I was like, I don't see them changing it, but they actually did lower it. So, hey, I'll take it.
It's good faith. I think
is.
developers are starting to realize the power of like good faith with your consumer, right?
After Cyberpunk,
that there's a stauncher advantage to being dialed in to like what your consumers want. That it may be a short-term loss or a short-term difficulty for long-term retention of consumers. I think like 343 has just those simple gestures of like revamp the battle pass, cutting the prices in the marketplace. It's like that strikes such a deep chord in me, because it's like, wow, holy shit, they did not have to do that. didn't expect those changes to come as fast as they did either.
Yeah.
And so it's like it pays off. It's one of those like little things. And I can see Microsoft doing that with like these other studios. If a mistake gets made or if a game comes out, I can totally see Microsoft be like having enough of a finger on the pulse to enact change where it needs to be and be willing to do it. I don't see them as an apathetic company. And I think that this deal, if anything, is probably going to make them more involved, maybe.
Hopefully in a good way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, Microsoft, they specifically pick these devs that have talent. You know, they're looking at studios that have put out good games in the past and they want to make them better and they want to get some of that money off of them.
Oh yeah.
And
dude.
I think in a way Sony and Nintendo should both be a little bit worried because there's only a certain amount of talent out there. There's only so many developers in the world. And the more of them that go to Microsoft, the less that they're able to get. Sony has been buying some studios. Like they bought Housemarque, however you say that. They made the game Returnal last year. And Sony also bought Blue Sky Studios, who did the remake for Demon Souls. They also did the remake for Shadow of the Colossus and some other games. But so Sony's been buying, you know, smaller stuff, smaller purchases. Nintendo hasn't really seemed to be doing a whole lot of that as of recent. But I think if nothing else, they need to look at Microsoft and be like, oh, okay, we need to really keep an eye on them and maybe start thinking about getting some devs of our own, because pretty soon all the good talent's going to be taken by a big monopoly company like Microsoft. And then what? You gotta wait for more gaming studios to come out.
Yeah, well, and you know, marketplaces are environments, man. And so once you get an organism that's big enough, it's going to eat all the food and there won't be any coming back from it, right? At a certain, you pass a certain threshold where your competition, I feel like, gets just too big, and you know, you can sustain yourself. Like I don't think it's like Sony will be ran out of town by Microsoft.
No. Totally
but
not.
At a certain point, Microsoft may pass a threshold in acquisition of studios that Sony wouldn't be able to reach, because of what you're saying. That limited talent, you know, there's only so many resources that are out there. And so I think that the more Microsoft picks up, the less there are for Sony. And then after a certain point, Microsoft might reach that next echelon and Sony might not be able to get to that place. So it's going to be tricky for them.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see when July of next year rolls around.
Have you seen any?
We really start seeing this take effect. It's going to be interesting to see what exactly, you know, because I mean, right now we're not really going to see a whole lot of changes happening because the deal is still in the process of going through. But a year and a half,
shit's in escrow.
Yeah, pretty much. But a year and a half from now, once everything's gone through, things are going to start changing, and it's going to be really interesting to see where all that goes. Do either of you have any final thoughts before we wrap up the show?
Oh yeah. I imagine that once this deal gets like finalized, there is probably going to be a hotel room somewhere with a lot of cigars being smoked and a lot of champagne being popped and a lot of prostitutes. You know,
you scared the hell out of me because my first thought was the Cosby room. From the fucking, you know, that's what they fucking called it at Blizzard. Like that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No. They're all like, all right, guys, we're gonna go have a celebration, but don't invite those Blizzard fellas. They're weird as fuck.
There's like a crude drawing on the door that
Blizzard
says "No Blizzard allowed" with like a
no Blizzard
face.
employees.
No Blizzard leadership allowed.
You see like one of the Blizzard leaders walk up to the door, they see the sign, and then they just like, oh, they hear like all the partying.
This will
and the
stop
laughing.
me because I can't read. No.
Oh, we're throwing shade your way, Activision. Just be prepared. At this
that was
point,
too funny.
I don't know what this is, but I'm going in anyways because I'm entitled to it. It just walks in.
I'm entitled
Sounds
to.
like fucking those guys. Jesus.
I
Right?
can't read, but what would Cosby do?
Oh Jesus
He just-
Christ.
He'd open the door with or without consent.
God.
What would Cosby do? He'd just bust in.
Ew. Word phrasing.
All right. All
I know that
right.
was in
Well,
poor
now
taste.
that we're not
We can
talking
wrap
about
it up.
gaming anymore, I think it's a perfect time to wrap up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wrap up this show. Well, anyways, guys,
Zibbity zobbity, we gotta wrap up the show with it.
seriously, you guys, great show, amazing discussion, and I think this is something we will be revisiting as things develop in the future.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and have a great rest of your evening.
You too.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, you too.
keep
Same
on
to the
gaming.
audience.
Let's do it.
Yeah, keep on gaming.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
See ya.
Later.